Hello. Okay, we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to teach you some things that are really important beyond your practices and your rehearsals and just life. This has to do with performing, but you can apply this to anything. Why this matters. Let me read this first. How to rewire your self-talk in your limitless potential as a performer and human. Okay, the way we speak to ourselves shapes our art, our relationships, our income, and our joy. No one becomes a powerful performer with weak self belief. So, what I have to say about this is it's not really an accident. It's actually very intentional, and it takes rewiring the way you speak to yourself and for that to become the new normal. And I'm like really excited because I think you're just going to love this because thoughts that come up, like I'm not good enough, or like I'm not ready to perform at that theater yet, or my voice just wasn't built to sing this genre, or maybe I'll never get that, or maybe I should like these thoughts that suggest, oh my gosh, where did it go? I wrote something down. It was great. But basically, the idea, oh, it is right here. Um, I got in a habit of ignoring the voice that says it doesn't matter. And that is my goal for you today, to get into the habit of ignoring the voice that says it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, I'm so passionate about this because the voice that says it doesn't matter, well, here's the thing. Something has to matter. Like something has to matter, and until you make it matter, it doesn't matter. Like until you decide that it matters, that's what makes it matter. And this matters. My favorite quote ever. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. I feel like that is my soul's thesis statement. I feel like that's like the blueprint inside of my DNA because I just kind of remember feeling that way, like literally as a 6 year old. And to me, it felt like common sense. And then I felt like I observed it wasn't common sense to everyone. But I do feel like it only makes sense to do what makes you come alive. It's going to make everybody's life better. It's going to make the planet better. Okay, here's the method we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the first step of illuminating, rewiring, and then amplifying. So let's just go straight into illuminating. Okay, every belief you hold was once a thought you repeated, period. It was just an assumption born out of a moment, or it was a thought that was repeated. So, questions to reflect. What do you believe is ultimately true about your voice? What do you believe about your ability to earn, to perform, to audition? Where did that come from? And then we must say, is it absolutely true? Now, you would not be watching this video if you weren't like, I'm down to do the work. So if you're down to do the work, then I need you to like get out your notepad and then you write, what do I believe about my voice? What do I believe about my ability to earn, to perform and audition? Maybe that meant to say learn, but it also goes with earning money as a performer, earning money in general. Okay, so if you believe my voice is peaked, I can't get any better. Do you believe that? Do you believe your voice is weak? Do you believe it's strong? Do you believe it's changeable? Do you believe it's pretty good but not amazing? Who says? Okay, so just being willing to question where did it come from? And what we're really getting at here is like there is no limit if you decide the ultimate vision and you just go 100% forward at it. You're like, well, there is no other option. So I'm just going to like lock in these voice lessons nonstop. I'm just going to show up because if I show up my voice lessons for 5 years, how is there any possibility in the world that my voice won't be better? How's that even a possibility? And if that's what you want, then you get to decide that. Okay. So this is the thing is your brain literally rewires based on what you repeat and believe. I am going to share this with you. I think I'm going to stop the screen share while I share this. Formula identity, identify old beliefs, Write transition thoughts for each limiting belief. Repeat it obsessively like a madwoman in your journal, out loud in the car, in the mirror, when you're cooking, when you wake up, and when you go to bed. That was my step that I wrote. I wrote these whole steps. But let's talk about it. I'm going to stop share for a second. Identify old beliefs and transition thoughts. This needs to be its own lesson. Where's the mouse? Stop sharing. My mouse won't appear. Come on. I just want this. Okay. This will help me focus. Okay. So, identifying the old belief, you do this by going like this. You say, "What do I want?" And then the next thing says, "Why can't I have it?" Or "What's in my way?" Well, for example, I'm not here yet because I didn't have enough money to go to this school. And if I would have gone to this school, then I would have had all my dreams come true. That's called victim mentality. Okay, so we got to start taking 100% responsibility. 100% responsibility. Your life will just get a whole lot better if you take 100% responsibility for your suffering and for your joy, for what you have. Okay? Because maybe the reality is that you didn't practice. Maybe that's also a reality. Maybe the reality is you didn't visualize the success as well. And so let's talk about some more limiting beliefs. Re identifying them. This is really important. And people may not like this step because you might be thinking, I need to just focus on what I can do. We want to actually focus on what some part of you deep down thinks is true. Like, have you seen the movie Inside Out and Inside Out 2? We want to look at it just like that. We want to look at it like there's different parts of us because there are. And that movie just portrays it very greatly. So you can imagine those actual cartoon characters inside of you trying to take over the control center. And they all feel very, very strongly. And most importantly, none of them are bad, none of them are wrong. They're all valid for their perspective. So we're not about shutting it out. We are doing something different. What we are doing is we're going to listen to the thing that they think is so true. Okay, so I'm speaking from like a lot of people watching this are like my voice students ages 12 to 18. And so some things that I hear commonly and that I felt are some statements as follows. Probably like just the basic one is, I'm not good enough yet. Will I ever be good enough? I don't look right. I don't look the part. I'm not this enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. I'm not big enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not a good enough dancer. It's too late for me to dance. I'm not good at acting. I'm too shy. I suck at auditioning. I don't know how to film good auditions. Um, let's see what else would be. Oh, what if people think I'm weird? So and so doesn't want me to pursue this, and I'm not sure if I can make it, so maybe I should do something else. I have to talk about that really quick. Do you guys know Michael Orr? Michael, have you seen The Blind Side? Really great movie. So when I was younger, I loved that movie and I loved like kind of reading stories about people who overcame things. Always my favorite stories. And this person, he said, he said it was never really about the NFL. It was never even about being the greatest football player, like as far as all the growth he had. But it was kind of just like for life, back to me saying something has to matter. It was like that's what he committed to that because we have one life on this earth. We have one life to go full out. And if you don't go full out, then like what are you doing? And that's the thing is I really liked reading that because I'm like, yeah, like you can look at someone like in the NFL and be like, well, what's the point? Like, congratulations, you're in the NFL. But you can say that with anything. You can also be like, yeah, it doesn't matter, but then also nothing matters or everything matters. So it's your own personal fulfillment. It's your own personal integrity of going to bed each night and then one day sitting on your rocking chair at 95 years old to be like, wow, I like I gave it my all. So that's on that belief. Okay, what I'm going to teach you to do is limiting beliefs into transition beliefs. Okay, so what we're not going to do is we're not going to say, I am a bad dancer. And I'm not here to tell you to start saying, I'm the best dancer in the world. I'm a great dancer. I'm not going to tell you to go say 100 times every morning, I'm a good dancer. I'm a good dancer. And then all of a sudden, you'll be a good dancer. That's not how it rolls. That's not how it rolls. How it rolls is like this. I can tell you this. I can tell you this from literally, I'm like a walking testimonial in many different areas of my life: business, dance, singing, auditions, friends, I just like anything. I just it's like purposely positive brainwashing, but it actually works because you're only believing one thing because it was a repeated thought anyway. So you might as well just decide to believe something else. And it takes work to make that be actually what you believe and then actually what you experience. So thought, I am a bad dancer. This is called transition thoughts or bridge thoughts. And this is what you're going to repeat obsessively like a mad woman. You're going to repeat it and you're going to feel joy when you do it. And you're going to like do it while you walk, do it while you exercise, listen to music while you do it. And so you can say anything more like this: I'm capable of learning to dance. I have the potential to learn how to dance. It's a possibility that I could get better at dancing. Maybe, just maybe, I could become more coordinated than I think. That's a good phrase to use for your brain to say maybe, just maybe. Because then you're like, maybe, just maybe I could get better. I am willing to take a dance class once a week. I am willing to blah, blah, blah. Then that's what you're going to repeat obsessively. You're not going to repeat, I'm a great dancer, I'm a great dancer, I'm a great dancer. If that's where you are, if you've never taken a dance class in your life and you feel like you suck and you feel awkward and embarrassed, then just start saying, it's, you start saying, I'm willing to get on board with the possibility of maybe believing that I could become a dancer. Because then you're like, you're not even jumping to here. You're like saying you're open to believing. You're not even saying you're believing you could get better. You're saying you're open to believing that maybe you could get better. And then this is what I'm saying. If you stick with that affirmation, eventually it won't evoke anything anymore. And then eventually you rewrite that list. And then that list goes to like, okay, I'm in the process of becoming a good dancer. And then you say that obsessively like a mad woman. I'm in the process of becoming a good dancer. And then all of a sudden, if so, you're doing that. By the way, this is not, you're still taking action. What happens is you say something enough, it's in your mind more often. You then are more aware of dance classes in the atmosphere. You then feel less resistant to signing up for one. So while all this is happening, it will change your behavior because your behavior, your actions is ultimately what is going to get the results. But you will not ever take those actions because you will not ever be looking for a dance class because you will be so convinced that you suck at dancing. That's the example for dancing. It applies to literally anything. It applies to anything. It applies to healthy eating, it applies to exercising, it applies to money, it applies to your job, a promotion at a job. It's just like you're going to find what you look for, and you're rarely going to find what you're not looking for. So, that's a quote my cousin just shared with me. In that way, you will be taking more dance classes. And then all of a sudden, it's like, wow, I actually am fine. Like I'm kind of okay at dancing. Then you can redo it. Let's do one more example. Um, let's do what's one that my people say? Hmm. So this one's more about like worthiness and like potential of like the certain theater company, the certain job, or the certain role. And some of this comes down to like thinking you don't deserve it, or thinking you're not allowed to do it, or thinking you're just not good enough yet, you're not worthy, and it's for somebody else. Why is it for somebody else? I'm not sure why it is. It doesn't have to be. And what I do know this is all that I can promise you through my experience. I cannot promise you that You will play every single role you ever want to play. I will not promise you you will get a full ride scholarship to the theater program you want. I cannot guarantee any of that. I don't know how anybody could. But what I can do, I can testify at least. I can testify that if you focus on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then you will get experiences in your life of that feeling. And that's all that really matters anyway. And so the key thing to question here is like anything that believes like anything that says, who am I to play the lead role? Or who am I to get paid to perform? Like, who am I to do that? Why why could you not? Why could you not? Tell me why. Because there's other people doing it every single day. And they're just human beings. They were just born to a mother and father. They went to school. Like they ate breakfast. They got the flu. Like they just lived just like you. They got themselves in the right position, right place, right time. They also believed they could they on some level they believed they were worthy of it. So you show up. So you always just show up, show up, show up, show up. Show up for yourself. What we are not going to do is we're not going to abandon our dream, or we're not going to abandon the little version of you, and we're not going to abandon the future version of you, and we're not going to abandon the present version of you. And that takes consistency. Okay, let me show the next share. The next thing is repeat obsessively like a mad woman. How do you do this? So the best tip I can give you is take your phone, first get your computer, go to YouTube and type in like uplifting inspirational piano music. Search. Find one that's just like an hour long nonstop. Then, well, first we've got to get your list. So we get your list. Your list can have like 10, 20, 30 transition thoughts for each limiting belief. You want to hit each one. So we're going from like I'm not good enough to I'm willing to believe that I'm just where I'm meant to be. I'm exactly right just where I am. Um, my voice is getting better and better every day. I am I show up for my voice, and I actually take the right action to seek out the right mentors to support my voice. I do my vocal exercises. I am visualizing myself performing. I'm starting to notice more opportunities to audition. So we're going to say these things like a mad woman. You're going to write it out. The harder you hit the ball against the wall, the harder it comes back. Okay? The harder you hit the ball against the wall, the harder it comes back. Henry Amar says that. You write this in the morning and at night. Write it, read it, say it. And then what I want you to do with your phone and the YouTube video is I want you to record yourself saying them with love, and then with the music in the background. Then that's going to be in your voice memos. Then you just press play all the time while you're cooking breakfast, while you're on a walk, while you're brushing your teeth. Then you're going to hear this non-stop. I could be getting better at dance. I am the type of person who shows up for my voice. I am willing to I'm starting to see myself as a person who could professionally perform. Whatever your affirmations are, you just start to hear it obsessively when you go to bed. What I would do when you go to bed, this is another pro tip that's not in here because this is like pro tip for the people who are like, no, I'm serious. Like, I'm here to learn. Give me everything you have. I'm giving you what I have right now. You script in the present, you script from the future self, but like that's writing in the past of what you already happened. So like I have countless journals where I have done this. And I just have such a good imagination that I can just tap into it and I can say like, listen, I had the best rehearsal. Oh my gosh, I love my cast so much. Because what I did is I asked myself, like, okay, what do I want? Why do I want that? 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 And it always comes down to this feeling. Like, it doesn't even matter how much you're getting paid. It doesn't matter what the company is. It doesn't matter anything. What matters is you think you're going to feel a certain way. And that feeling already lives inside of you. It lives in you. Hela, himamela. I'm serious. So, what you do is you say like So for me, I said, maybe I want to be in this show. Why? Well, because I love the music and I feel like it would be like I just feel like I belong in that show. Okay, why? Um, it just it just feels like I just love it. I just love nothing more than it. And it's so fun. And I love rehearsals and I think that the rehearsals would be so fun and like just and then I'd be getting paid for it and like you just go on and on. So I oftentimes personally love the rehearsal process as much or more than the performing. And so I will write in my journal like that just happened. Like, oh my gosh, just got done with our rehearsal. Everyone was so nice and so funny, and the cast is so talented. And I love the director, and the vibes are just so good. And it's just so fun. And I can't believe I'm so lucky that this is my job and I'm getting paid for this. And I can't believe it. I'm so grateful. I like literally want to like bow down and kneel down because my heart is overflowing with gratitude. How is this even possible? What did I do to deserve this? I'm so thankful for this moment. This is like everything. Like this is so perfect. I love it so much. This is like amazing. So what I just did there is I brought a feeling into my body when like nothing that I just said happened, but I felt it. And I believe when you feel that more, you're changing literally like the biochemistry, the neurotransmitters, like, because there's new hormones going on in my body after I just went on that rant. Like, there is some like serotonin or some dopamine or some oxytocin, or like, there's probably not oxytocin, but the other ones. And, and then that just becomes more like where I am. And then lo and behold, when I'm least expecting it, I have that experience, but not in the show that I pictured, but I have that experience. Okay. Observing your limiting beliefs. Bring forth one idea that feels constricting, such as, I'm not good enough for that theater, or I could never make $20,000 a month, or it's not possible for me to make a living with my gift. Now consider this. Is this idea about you and what you are able to, is this idea basically, is it written in a stone in some sacred land? Did God Himself write it on the very holy chalkboard in the sky? No, it's just an idea. It's just an idea that you are subscribing to. It's not ultimately true, and you are no longer required to think, act, and conduct yourself in line with a lie. I I love it. I love it so much. This obviously is not my quote. This is Amanda Francis's quote. And this is like really deep work to ponder. Let me you can read that again. It's not, is it written in a chalkboard in the sky? Is it written on a stone in some land? This is let me elaborate on this. Okay, I gotta stop the share. Um, okay, so let me tell you this idea. Like, let's say it's I can't perform professionally. And there's a part of you that thinks that's true, that thinks other people can get those jobs, but I can't. Like you just are you're taking lessons and you're trying, but you kind of are like you think that would be so fun, but you kind of just think like, well, it's so competitive, like I can't do it. Like I wasn't made to perform professionally. Um, because you see all these other people and that's where your focus is. So then you want to take that belief and really think about it. Like, is that ultimately true? Like, is the fact that the statement, you can't perform professionally, is that written on a sacred stone in some holy land or whatever? Is that written on a chalkboard in the sky? Is that written on like the scrolls in the heavens? Like, and this person's destiny, you shall never ever perform professionally or anything. You can never be a millionaire. Like it's not decided. Those types of things aren't decided. You can. And so like you have to be careful of what you're subscribing to as true. Is it for sure true that you can't start a business? Like, is it for sure? Like, no, it's not true. It's never true. Okay. I love it. Love it, this quote. Okay. Where are we? We're on Amplify already? What happened? Illuminate. Oh, yeah, Rewire. No, we're on Amplify. Okay. This is where it gets fun. So as you're like saying your affirmations like a mad woman and you're like deciding to care about what you input into your brain and you're not going to let yourself scroll because does the future you who's like rocking it on stage and like has the job and has the gig, does she allow randomness in her free time to go into her brain? Like I don't think so because whatever comes into your brain really really impacts you. So you were born to radiate light. The light is the truth. Jesus lives in all of us, and we have access to a higher joy. There's a typo. We have access to a higher joy. That means there's always a higher way, and your standard has now been raised. And your ability to choose and choose to allow yourself to do it with joy. And this is the tip everything you do, do it with joy. If you're taking a class you don't like, do it with joy. If you're prepping your meals, do it with joy. If you're doing something kind of boring, just how can you add more joy to it? Because that is life, and you are here to have joy. How to perform, audition, create content, and chase goals from your new belief system. Okay, so here's what you do is you're like, if my future self believed that I could make money performing, how does that girl prepare for the audition? Because in the past, I was kind of in between. I was like, well, like this part of me, going back to Inside Out, there's a part that's like, I am good enough. And the other part's like, I'm not good enough. I'm still going to audition. What's the point of auditioning? You can't do it. So, what's the result? You end up either not auditioning or doing like a last minute one and being like, well, it's not that good. Like, I wasn't going to make it anyway. So, I'm not going to be blah, blah, blah. What type of energy is that? I speak from experience. I'm not speaking from judgment. I'm speaking from me doing that and as like this safe cop out to be like, well, it wasn't, I didn't give my best anyway. So then you're like weirdly like making yourself feel good because you still auditioned and you can still say like, well, I tried, but you didn't really try because if you really tried and you didn't make it, that would hurt your heart more. So it's just easier. So what you have to do is we're going to now start to accept that your heart will break all of the time. That's what you do. It's more fun. It's a more fun way to live. Constantly dreaming, constantly heart shattering. But it's not really like that. I don't know. I just am really open to feelings, and feelings don't define you. Your emotions are just like, it's a gift. I love feeling emotions. And so I welcome it. And I welcome dreaming and I welcome hoping and I welcome grieving the loss of dreams and being like, that sucks. Like, that really hurts. Like, you have to welcome that. Um, to where you feel comfortable, you can ease your way into it. But your new belief system, if you're like, I'm actually worthy of this goal, I don't feel like it now, like then your voice is gonna be like, yeah, but Sally's auditioning and she can belt really good, so why are you even auditioning? Like, holy cow. Unfortunately, as far as I know, those thoughts don't really go away. But you can get real good at like getting in your own zone and like it doesn't matter what matters. I'm telling you, it's not even going to make you happy to get the part or get the job. The only thing that makes you happy is progress and living in integrity and doing your best, because then you have a full bank of audition videos you feel good about or songs you're like, yeah, I can do good. It doesn't matter. I've walked away from auditions so happy and so fulfilled because I was so connected. I warmed up good. I took care of myself and I did so good. I didn't care diddly squat about the result because I already delivered. Like, I already did achieve the goal of connecting. It doesn't matter if I'm on stage or on camera or if I'm in the audience. The present moment is always the goal. Like, that's what we love as singers. We love to be like in it. And the fact that I could go to an audition and like be in it, I'm like, I don't care. Like, if you don't call me back or you don't cast me, like, I don't care. Like, I literally don't care because I did my best. Where I feel worse is when I didn't do my best. We can talk about that later too. DM me. Like, there's pros and cons of like in person and video auditions. So if they're in person, obviously there's a lot of factors that, you get one shot. Video has its own problems. But when you are the performer who's like, yeah, I actually can see myself getting this role, like I actually can see it happening, then you are like, okay, well, this person probably like practices for a few weeks and then probably works on the song with her voice teacher, probably does the deep acting work, does the emotional work, probably gets enough sleep and water, and probably gets the lighting and the tape and like maybe gets coaching for her self tape audition. Then that person submits an audition they feel really good about. Then you're gonna then you're gonna not be in a numb state because you'll be in a numb state when you send the video where you feel like meh, where you feel like I didn't try anyway. Then you that person get doesn't want to make it. Like it's just like not the energy. And so I just want us to always try our best. And our best is different every day. I have sent auditions where it's like you get it last minute and you can literally just do what you can do. And that's okay too. Okay. The ultimate secret to everything is your state. Your state is composed of three things: your focus, your physiology, and your language. What is this picture? What is behind me? Do you see the red coals? That's fire. That's coals. I just walked across that. I walked across it with my bare feet. And so did everybody else in that picture. How? I got in the right state. Do not do this on your own. Do not do this. This was at a very, it took a long time getting into this event. There was a lot of state change exercises. There was a lot of meditations, hypnosis, and a lot of like rah rah, which actually affects it. So, disclaimer, this was at an event. I didn't think I was going to do it either, but I changed my mind. Okay, listen. So this is used for everything. And what it is your focus, your physiology, and your language. So that means if I'm in my room, chilling on TikTok like this, and I'm focusing on how Sabrina always gets the parts, and I'm focusing on how I feel bloated, and and I'm saying the words in my head, dang, ugh, this sucks. Like, I don't like the classes that I'm in right now. I don't like my school. You're creating a state of being by doing that because you're hunched, your physiology is hunched, your focus is on Sabrina and how your life sucks, and your language is on how I don't like this. What kind of vibe is that creating? A 100% responsibility. You take 100% responsibility for the internal emotion you're experiencing 24 hours of the day. So, um, So Annie, are you saying like just turn on girls just want to have fun and start jumping on your bed? Yeah, I am actually, because it will change your state. Yeah, but I don't feel like it. Well, that's the point. You have to do things you don't feel like doing, and so you train yourself to do things you don't feel like doing. If you turn on, like, oh, I want to dance with somebody, and you say like, I'm freaking kind of like depressed right now, but I want to make myself uh shake out of it. And I'm not talking about like caveat again. I feel like mental health is so like these days I'm like depression, anxiety, that's real. Like sometimes like you don't need that. But I'm really talking about when you're kind of just like in a lame funk that is like self brought on by these three things: your focus, your physiology, and your language. So what if you were to just choose to use language of saying what you're grateful for? Sometimes I start crying when I'm driving because I just am like so grateful that I like have a body, that I have eyes, and then I'm just like here. I'm like, wow, this car, like what even's going on in this earth? I'm just like in this car. This is so cool. This is so cool that I have the health that I have. Like, just focus. The secret of happiness is wanting what you have, not having what you want. It's like literally being like, oh my gosh, wow, I can drink water whenever I want it. There's a water filter. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love having a journal. And it's like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I literally am like, I really want, like, I have this and I want it. And like, I'm appreciating it. It's kind of fun to do the impossible, says Walt. It is. So, this picture's here because you had to get in a certain state and you had to be like, yes, 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 ah! And then you have these mantras you say, and then you like walk and you look forward. It's about your focus, it's about your physiology, and it's about your language. We had like a mantra we said across it. I did not feel heat at all. I didn't because actually I can't explain this. Like this still doesn't scientifically make sense to me. Why I didn't burn my feet, I don't understand. But power state is possible. I use this in audition rooms. I will sometimes use breath work. I'll like if I can get some privacy, then I'll go. So anytime you can put your arms up or like this, shoulders back, sternum up, that's changing your state. I would never go into an audition after like sitting like this for 20 minutes listening to 50 girls belt before me. That's a recipe for not success. A recipe for success is for me, I listen to my headphones and I listen to I just it's different. I don't have like a certain thing I do, but I try to be present and I try to keep the nervous system regulated and also just be in an open energy. An open energy. And I try to stay in the childlike play of like, hey, I'm here because I love singing because this is fun. What if you never believe the limiting thought again? Okay, this is what I mean when I said this. I wrote this down that said, I got in a habit of ignoring the voice that says it doesn't matter because something has to matter. And so, what if you never believe the limiting thought again? Is that possible? Well, we all have blind spots, and that's why a mentor is good. We all have blind spots, and but I am pretty dang good at catching limiting beliefs. And how I do this is there's an energy of the phrase, and it doesn't matter that much. And I don't like that because it does matter. That's the thought that gets you into trouble. That's the thought that leads to being miserable, to be honest. It really is because the small things that seem like they don't matter is exactly what matters. And that's what the energy, like, it doesn't matter. And that's not showing up for yourself. And showing up for yourself is the small things. So it could be anything from this. Hear me out. We all know water is important. We all know getting enough water is important. Have you ever had an empty water bottle and you were like in a building or something? I don't know, like you're like at like a event or a concert or you're a school play or I don't know, you're somewhere and you need more water. Your body's like, I'm thirsty. And like you're with a bunch of people. And then you have a thought like, I should go fill up my water. And then, but you don't want to kind of get left behind. Or you're just like, ugh, I can't be bothered. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That thought come creeping in. You leave. You're more dehydrated. It's not good for you. But Annie, it doesn't matter. It's just for like 5 minutes. Like I can get water. No, I'm calling it that does matter because your body, you're dehydrated. You needed water. You can take 20 seconds to fill up water for yourself. Okay. Those are the types of things. Like it doesn't matter. Like maybe you're like, I'm eating too much Oreos lately. And you're like decided, I'm gonna not eat so much Oreos. But then the next trigger comes that makes you want to eat the Oreos. And then as you're eating them, obviously in the moment, you're going to be like, it doesn't matter if I have one more. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I have one more. I mean, that's just an example. I'm not an Oreo person. I'm more of like a Chips Ahoy person, crunchy, not chewy. But it does matter. If you say not saying your affirmations doesn't matter, it does matter 100%. You look yourself in the mirror, you say it out loud, you go on that walk, you show up for yourself, meditate, pray, journal, because it does matter. So you never believe a limiting thought again. My brain constantly does this. Like I told myself I was going to look in the mirror every night and say these things, have eye contact, look deep into my soul, look into my eyes, see the presence. Because when I'm present, presence is what heals. We all just want someone to be present with us, but are we present with ourselves? Mirror work is very hard, it's very uncomfortable, but I'm committing to do it anyway. I'm committed to it because I know that it's very transformative and I get very emotional every time. And so I was laying in my bed. I forgot to do it. I had the idea, oh yeah, go look in your mirror and like have that moment again. I had the thought, and it doesn't matter. But because I recognize the thought, it doesn't matter, you bet your bottom dollar I threw the covers off and I said, yeah, it does matter. I'm not leaving myself behind. And I had that moment with me. And I did looked in my eyes. I said some things. I just was present. I was like, I got your back. I got you. I love you. And it does matter. So I can now just recognize like limiting beliefs real quick. This is what I just elaborated. Oh, you get to a point where anything that says, any thought that says I can't do something, it sounds like someone saying my hair is pink. So like if someone says my hair is pink, I'm like, that's literally not true. That was my reaction. Did you see that? How I was like, that's literally not true. Like, okay, you're crazy. So if I have a thought that's like, oh, like you can't get paid to perform, that's literally not true, Satan. Like, what the heck are you doing here? You have a thought, oh, I can't learn that genre. That's literally not true. Oh, like I'm not good enough to perform. That's literally not true. It's not true. It's the same not true as the same not true as my hair is pink. Because it's not true. Okay. Do you want more? Follow me on Instagram and YouTube, work with me one on one, or get my free PDF of 30 beliefs for performers. You can DM me on Instagram, your email address, and just say, like, free PDF. And I'm going to give you these. It's going to say, I'm allowed to shine brightly. I'm worthy of playing my dream roles and like a lot more, literally 30. You can do the same thing. You can read these in the mirror. You don't even have to make up your own. I giving you this list. You can start with this, make your own little dream recording and dream up. Okay. I'm looking forward to sending you those. And next lesson, we're going to talk more in depth about your state and how to actually do it. Okay. Bye, guys.